Gorod Krovi, what a gem. We head to Stalingrad, Russia to extract the soul from Nikolai 1.0 after doing so to the other three Primus characters. It's the final stop before heading to the conclusion of Revelations, and this map was honestly a banger. And I didn't want to title this video Gorod Krovi, a true masterpiece, because that seems to be a reoccurring theme with these videos. Really what Gorod Krovi is classic zombies, but on next gen. Every single Black Ops 3 map feels over the top, complicated, and clearly feels like a next-gen experience, but Gorod Krovi feels like it could have been a World at War map or a Black Ops map. It is truly a classic zombies experience, but with better graphics and a better engine. Upon first glance, Gorod doesn't seem like a Black Ops map. You have all this futuristic shit with the Valkyrie drones, the Groff modules, and for God's sake, you got dragons flying around. But if you delve deeper into the gameplay itself, it truly feels like a classic zombies experience. And we're going to analyze it. Welcome to the fourth installment of my analysis series, where we analyze all Treyarch zombies maps. Obviously, we've got Gorod Krovi today, and we will have Revelations in the next episode. And if you missed the 3 previous episodes of Shadows, Horizon Drak, and Zetsubo, I encourage you to go check those out. There's a playlist for it. What makes a classic zombies map? There are a few things. 1, a fairly simple concept. 2, an easy setup process. 3, difficult high rounds. And 4, a science fiction spin on a realistic setting. Nearly every map that Jimmy Zielinski developed shared these qualities, and it's rare to see Blundell incorporate all of these qualities into his maps. On a classic zombies map, the only things you're really looking to do are turn on the power, get your guns, your perks, and also pack a punch. Those are the necessities. Those are the bare minimums you need, and that's really what Gorod Krovi emphasizes. Sure, there are many extra things you can do. There's a shield, there's a specialist, there's a dragon strike, but really what those things are bonuses. They're not necessary. They're smart to get, but they're not going to ruin your game if you don't. To turn on the power, all you've got to do is flip a switch, which is clearly something we saw in classic zombies. To activate pack-a-punch, all you got to do is link 3 Groff modules, which is very similar to linking 3 teleporters, or activating 5 DEFCONs, or activating 3 lunar landers. You get what I mean. To get the wonder weapon, the Ray Gun Mark III, all you gotta do is spin the box. On the majority of classic zombies maps, you have to spin the box and hope you get the wonder weapon. On almost every BO3 map, you have to go through a long process to get the wonder weapon, but not Gorod Krovi. Again, there is more to setting up on Gorod Krovi. It's not that cut and dry. The specialist process does actually take a long time, but it wouldn't be any other way. There's a specialist on every Black Ops 3 map. My point is, setting up on Gorod is largely the same as setting up on any classic map. It's not a map like Shadows or Zetsubo where you're spending 45 minutes setting up. You don't have to go through these long, extraneous processes. They're pretty straightforward and they're fairly easy to complete. Setting up on Gorod doesn't take much time or much effort, which, again, sound like a broken record here, is what classic zombies is all about. Now you're all set up. How else does Gorod feel like a classic map? Well, the high rounds aren't very easy. Granted, in Black Ops 3, you have double pack-a-punch on every map. And double pack-a-punch, of course, is infinite damage, so theoretically you could play until your game crashes. But that's not a Gorod issue, that's a BO3 issue. If we're disregarding that, the high rounds are extremely difficult. And the main reason for that is because the Ray Gun Mark III isn't very dependable past round 70. Every wonder weapon in Black Ops 1 zombies has checks and balances. The Thunder Gun is infinite damage, but you can't get max ammos with it, and the same thing applies for the Wave Gun on Moon. The Baby Maker is statistically one of the best, but it's very risky running into a crowd of zombies, and the baby zombies can still technically output damage. The VR-11 and Winter's Howl are pretty shitty wonder weapons to begin with, and the Scavenger is pretty good, but has a lot of explosive damage and eventually drops off damage-wise. The Ray Gun Mark III, like all of those wonder weapons, has its checks and balances. When you have this gun, it's very hard to down with it, but the damage does decline over time. The Ray Gun Mark III contributes so much to the classic feeling of this map, because it's so similar to a Black Ops 1 or a World at War wonder weapon. And while we're talking about weapons, let's shift over to the box weapons. In Gorod Krovi, spinning the box is finally valuable. On a map like Horizon Drak, where there are 4 wonder weapons that are extremely overpowered, spinning the box is practically irrelevant. But on Gorod Krovi, where A, the wonder weapon is in the box, B, the PPSH is in the box, and C, all of the new weapons, the L4 Siege, NX Shadow Claws, FFAR, etc., are in the box, it becomes valuable again. In BO3, it's usually about grabbing a wall gun and double packing it, but in Gorod Krovi specifically, there's so much firepower in the box, and there's so many cool and unique weapons in the box that spinning the box is cool again. And we all know damn well that since Black Ops 3, spinning the box hasn't been the same. Classic zombies and the mystery box go hand in hand, and Gorod Krovi brought back this mystery box uniqueness. And Zetsubo did, because it did have some new weapons, but it wasn't on the scale that Gorod did it. And also, real quick, I'm gonna shift here. The bosses, the Manglers and the Valkyrie drones on this map, are pretty aids. And coincidentally, a lot of the bosses in classic zombies were kind of aids. There were the Nova Crawlers, there was the Pentagon Thief, George Romero, the Monkeys, and these bosses all being aids also contributes to the high rounds being so difficult. Valkyrie drones not only constantly shock you and constantly disorient you, but they block entire doorways. Valkyrie drones are massive in size. And then you got Manglers, who are obviously big as well. They have their little portal gun that they shoot you with. That is annoying. Sometimes if your game is glitched out, you can insta-down by that. He can also hit you and damage you quite a bit. It really seems as though every element of Gorod Krovi mirrors what a Black Ops 1 or World at War map would have. Let's talk about the atmosphere of Gorod Krovi. The map takes place in World War II Stalingrad. The Battle of Stalingrad was actually the single bloodiest battle in human history. It resulted in about 2 million casualties on both sides. The Soviets desperately defended their home from the Nazis and finally pushed them out. There were explosions, there was fire, there's rubble everywhere. The Battle of Stalingrad was nothing short of horrific. There were civilians dying, there were soldiers dying. I'm not going to go into a history lecture or anything, but the Battle of Stalingrad really displayed the perseverance and the resilience of the Soviets. They never gave up and they sacrificed everything for the greater good, and they actually pushed through, which is clearly personified through Nikolai, who shares these same qualities. Nikolai sacrifices everything for the greater good and perseveres and never surrenders. War-torn Stalingrad is a really interesting setting for zombies. Again, there's rubble, there's destroyed buildings, there's fire, there's blood. It's not called the City of Blood for nothing. The atmosphere of Gorod Krovi would blend in perfectly in World at War or Black Ops, where those games primarily revolve around World War II. The way it looks and the way it plays. Many of the maps in Black Ops take place in Russia. There's Ascension, there's Call of the Dead. A Gorod Krovi theme feels like a classic zombies theme, primarily because of the era it tackled. When you look at Gorod Krovi, you can see World at War, but of course there's one thing to not be ignored: the dragons. Gorod Krovi doesn't revolve necessarily 100% around the war. It involves the dragons quite a bit in a science fiction spin, which is what I was talking about earlier. Every classic zombies map has some sort of sci-fi to it. Clearly dragons in real life aren't real, but in this universe they're the ones flying around and burning all the buildings down and destroying them. The dragons play an enormous role in the atmosphere. They're just about half of the atmosphere. The sky is filled with soaring dragons. There's dead dragons laying all over, and you know, the wonder weapons are all revolved around the dragons. There's the Gauntlet of Siegfried, there's the dragon shield, there's the dragon strike. And let me just say, dragons are badass. Any map with dragons, no matter how good, is going to be good. If they threw a dragon on transit, it would be one of the best maps. I understand not everybody likes it. Maybe it feels a bit excessive in a game of zombies, but how could you not enjoy them? Actually, let me just answer my own question. They breathe fire all over the map. That's how you could not enjoy them. But, you know, aesthetically, they're really cool, and they fly you to Pack-a-Punch. I think they're awesome. And incubating an egg to get a baby dragon for the specialist, oh my god, dude. The little dragon is so adorable. The Easter egg on this map doesn't necessarily feel like a classic zombies Easter egg. What is a classic zombies Easter egg? The Gorod Krovi Easter egg is AIDS. Absolute AIDS. And it's extremely difficult. You're essentially collecting the 6 trophies, completing the 6 missions, getting the power core for Nikolai's mech so you can save him, only to then kill him because he needs to be killed. The concept is there, but the steps individually are fucking cancer. The 2 steps where you escort the Mangler and the Valkyrie drones, impossible unless you have some sort of gobblegum that'll slow down the zombies, because the zombies in this map for some reason are on steroids. They swipe way too fast, they run way too fast. Undead Man Walking was built for this Easter egg, and I use it every time. Good luck trying to escort this 1 mile/hour Valkyrie drone while there's 400 zombies sprinting towards you. Also, good luck finding Gur. Sometimes he lags out of the map, sometimes you can't hear him. And the good old bomb step, the most stressful Easter egg step ever. It's not that difficult, especially if your teammates aren't stupid, but one wrong click of a button or one mental error and your game literally ends. The Easter egg is difficult, I don't care what anybody says. But again, the concept is there, the story is there. It is an enjoyable Easter egg if you know how to do everything correctly and you don't screw up. The ending cutscene is a little emotional, and we do learn a lot about Nikolai in it. It helps us better understand him and his home of Stalingrad. And so really, my point is the atmosphere feels a lot like a World at War atmosphere. What I've noticed about most BO3 zombies maps is that they're very complex, but easy for high rounds. Classic Zombies is the exact opposite. Classic Zombies is very simple, but difficult for high rounds. Setting up on shadows takes a while, but once you have everything, you're nearly invincible. Setting up on a map like, I don't know, Shangri-La is very easy, but it's difficult to survive on those high rounds. Of all of the BO3 maps though, Gorod Krovi feels like the anomaly. It feels the most like a classic experience. Yes, there is some complexity to it, but there's nothing overpowered about Gorod Krovi. There's no setup process that takes an hour. Gorod Krovi feels like a slightly more advanced version version of Ascension, in my opinion. The atmospheres are obviously eerily similar, so that would be the map I would compare it to of all those classic maps. And it's not like Gorod Krovi didn't innovate at all. It innovated quite a bit. It introduced lots of new features and even brought back some old ones. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the analysis. Make sure to leave a like if you want Revelations next. Subscribe for Zombies and Blackout content. Guys, go follow me on Discord, Twitter, and Instagram down below. The links are there. It's free. And you know what? I will love you for doing it. I'm going to be uploading the map analysis videos every Sunday night. So every Sunday night, you check back on the Tim Hansen channel, and he's got an analysis video for you. It's going to be a new Zombies map every week, and you can be excited for it. So make sure to not forget, all right? Write it on your calendar, fit it into your schedule, all right? Every Sunday night. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you more than you realize. I honestly love you guys. Thank you for all the support. And, yeah, I gotta go. So, hope to see you in the next one.